you go live. Oh, it is, but I don't know where it is. But no, you can go, you can play. Because we're on. I just gotta find where we're on.
Hey kids, what time is it? Time for Gezintahait Street! Okay, well, as you can see, Bitzalel has an errand to run, but we have some nice things to share with you today. You know, last week was the Yom Hilula, the day of the passing of the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad Hasidic movement. So I wanted to bring, you know, a few ideas from the Alter Rebbe, and who better to say it and who understood him best than the second Chabad Rebbe, the Mittel Rebbe, his son. And this is what he says. This is from the introduction to the book Imre Bina, where he explains what his father was all about. As is known to all who have entered the gates of light of Torah and truth, as expressed by the mouth of his supernal holiness, mine honorable father, master, teacher, and rabbi of righteous memory, he's talking about, of course, the Alter Rebbe, in all of the teachings that he taught unceasingly, every week from Shabbos to Shabbos, meaning every week from Sabbath to Sabbath, all through the week, all the days of his life, also what he taught publicly, and also what he taught, as we know, the Alter Rebbe would teach some things in public, and there was other things that were reserved for special individuals. But all of this was why? With one intention only, namely to embed the simple oneness of Hashem, meaning the matter of the Oyer Ein Sof, the light of the Infinite One, which is into the minds of and the hearts of every single Jew. Each one according to his capacity and according to his ability. To his ability. He did this through many explanations that illuminate the soul of whoever listens and receives them. The very foundation of his words, as apparent from all his written works and many talks, is the matter of the true godly unity of Hashem, which is the upper unity and the lower unity, which is expressed by his name Hashem and his title Elohim. You know this, I said his name Hashem and his title Elohim. Because Hashem is his name, Elohim is not actually his name, it's one of his attributes. It's like, you know, like a lawyer, right? If you ask him, who are you? And he says a lawyer, he's lying to you. He's not a lawyer. A lawyer is what... Was
he moving his lips? Because if he was lying.
Exactly. But what he is not a lawyer. What he does is a lawyer. And even that, he only does it at work. Because when he gets home with his wife, he's not a lawyer, he's the defendant. So then he's, you know, so the lawyer, but even a lawyer, he's only while at work he's a lawyer. You know, and of course, you know, that, so this is something he does. This is like Hashem and Elohim, because he is not a lawyer, he is Bob. That's what he is Bob. And this is Hashem. Hashem is the Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? The holy four-letter name. This is who he is, right? This is his name, the name of essence that describes him. And then there's the title Elohim. That Elohim is just a title of how he expresses himself in this world. And this is stated in the Pasuk, right? V'yodaita hayom, right? You should know this day that and set it upon your heart that Hashem, He is Elikim, He is God. In the heaven above and upon the earth below, there is nothing else. Right? Eined Milvadi, nothing but Him. Similarly, it says, you have been shown to know that Hashem, He is Elikim. There is nothing besides Him. And there are many other such voices and psukim in the Torah. Now about this, about this, the Zohar in Parshas Truma says that this thing that Hashem, He is Elikim, is the general principle of all of the Torah, both the written Torah and the oral Torah, and it's the foundation of all of the commandments. So this thing, the knowledge of this thing that Hashem is Elikim, meaning the unity of Hashem's name, right? Like, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear Israel, Hashem is your God, Hashem is one. That this knowledge that Hashem, He is Elikim, that is the principle of the Torah, and all the other mitzvahs are based on this. Meaning that the written and oral Torah and all the mitzvahs are included in the unity of the Holy One, blessed be He, and His presence in the world, which are the names of Hashem and His title Elikim. So like the Zohar says, these two aspects of Hashem's unity are called Soiviv Kol Almin, right? How Hashem surrounds the world, He transcends and is beyond all the worlds, and Mimale Kol Almin, how Hashem fills the worlds. These two things, they correspond with the Shema, right? Hear, O Israel, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one, right? And then we say, what do we say after that? We say, Baruch Hashem Kivod Malchus Elohim Vod, right? Blessed is the name of His glorious kingdom forever and ever. Amen. And these two things, these two voices, it's called the upper unity, Yichud Ilah, and Yichud Tatorah. That Shema, Hear, O Israel, is the upper unity. It's Hashem as He is above the worlds. And then Baruch Shem Kivod Malchusay, right? Blessed be His kingdom down here, means how Hashem is expressed in His kingdom down here. And that's called the lower unity, Yichud Tatorah. And this is well known to all who know and understand, whether they are older Chassidim or if they are new to Chassidus even if their soul just had a small taste of the teachings of Chassidus, which established the simple oneness of Hashem and His unity in the worlds. If they establish this in their minds and their hearts, then this is something that will be known to them, even if they're just beginning in the learning of Chassidus. That is, that these matters have been brought close to their minds and hearts in different ways, each person according to the preparation of his heart and mind, how ready he is for this knowledge, to seek Hashem truthfully and with simplicity. And through accustoming themselves to regularly toil in the service of the mind and the heart completely all the days of their lives. We'll continue in a moment, but I think this is a good time for perhaps a meeting.
Okay.
What do you think? What meeting do you want to do?
Want to do the apocalypse?
That's the oh.
Is that the older women?
And by the way, before we start, I just want to say hello to all of our friends, to Omek and Abba and Angelica and Leib and Barnett and Rabbi Zagvi and Rabbi Goldstock and Carlos and Ivan and Marvin HaKoyen, Ira HaKoyen and Marvin HaKoyen, to our favorite Kehanim, and all of our friends watching. Maybe that was miserable. It was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, what? 1 second. Let me go get a tissue. Okay. Therefore, with all of the above said about the understanding that the main thing is the unity of Hashem, and understanding the unity of Hashem, and that this is the base for the mitzvahs. Therefore, for some time now, I have said to my soul, this is the Mittel Rebbe, can you imagine? He said to his soul, this is very high, that it is a mitzvah and obligation set upon me to gather the various discourses that he said or wrote on the voice Shema Yisrael, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. So actually, this is what the book in Rebina was about. Was about him putting together these teachings from the idea of Hashem is one and His name is one. This is especially true in auspicious times, as it states, there is a time for every desire, etc. Why is the Mittel Rebbe doing this? He explains. This is to enable the minds and the hearts of all who have the capacity to delve into the knowledge of the upper unity, the Yichud Ilah, and the lower unity, the Gezintahait of Hashem. Each person according to his capacity, according to his ability, Leib. During the recitation of the first voice of Shema, you hear this, that he's saying every person to put this into action during the recital of the Shema, that when he recites the Shema, he will be able to, each time he have to learn Chassidus, to when he says the Shema, to concentrate on and to think deeper and deeper in the unity of Hashem. And then each person says the voice, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Hear Israel, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. And the second voice, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Eloheinu V'ad, right? Blessed is the name of His glory, His kingdom forever and ever, which, like we said, is the lower unity. For this is the essential foundation of all Torah and mitzvahs. That's something, huh? This mitzvah of thinking about the unity of Hashem during Shema. This is the foundation of all Torah and mitzvahs. It is the foundation of prayer of the heart, which is the service of the heart, which this we can understand. That how Shema would be the foundation of the service of the heart, but it is also the foundation of faith that transcends knowledge, that transcends the seichel, that transcends the mind and the intellect and the logic, as is known to all that have tasted the voids of the living God with all their heart and their soul. And it's for this purpose that the Mittel Rebbe put this thing together, right? And that because they relate to the Hashem and the Elokim, the Yichud Ilah, the Yichud Atah, the upper unity, the lower unity. Now, there are two facets in attaining this knowledge of Hashem. The first one is in ascending order, going up, from down to up, ascending. Right? Which is to know and recognize the power of Hashem's actions in the world. Which is, what's his power and his actions in the world called? Elokim. Elokim. That's the name of Elokim. It's his power here in this world. And that it is the aspect of Memalikol Almin, right? How Hashem fills the world. That's the first aspect. The second aspect and higher knowledge is to know the name Hashem, which is the name of His essential self, the Shem HaEtzem. That is His actual name. Just like Bob the lawyer, right? His name isn't Mr. Counselor, right? Mr. Counselor is just like Hashem Elokim. Mr. Counselor is not his name. His name is Bob. Like when the judge calls him, he goes, Mr. Counselor, approach the bench. And then quietly he tells him, Bob, cut your BS. Right? Because then he's talking to Bob. So this is the same lahavdil. This is the same thing. Is Hashem, who he is in this world, how his actions in this world is Elokim. But the name of his essence, who he is the Shem Hashem, which, like we know, Hashem actually just means the name. And obviously, when we say Hashem, we're referring to the name, which is Yud Kei Vav Kei. I wish I had B'Tzalel sign now with Yud Kei Vav Kei. That would be a good time for it. But it's the name of 4 letters, Yud, Ahei, and Avav, and Ahei. And which we say Hashem the name because we even though during davening we're supposed to look at the letters in the Siddur and we're supposed to think it, we don't say this name. This name we're not allowed to say. The only one time it was said was one time a year by one person. The person who would say it would be the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, in the service of the Beis Hamikdash in the temple. Right, and you know how there's 3 times in Yom Kippur that we bow. We actually bow. There's only times that the Jew bows on his knees and bows and down is on Yom Kippur. And actually, this is what would be in the holy temple during the service of Yom Kippur. It says, and the Kohanim, the people they would stand and they would by the service in the Azorah in the courtyard, and the Kohen Gadol, right? Omer Shem HaMefeirash. Mefeirash means like the specified name. And all the people would koyim mishtach v'umayim, they would bow, they would kneel and bow and mishtach v'neifum al pneim, fall on their face, means they would bow, prostrate themselves straight all the way on their faces. So this is the only time, even in the times now we don't say it at all, but even in the times of the Beis Hamikdash, the only time this name was said was only by the Kohen Gadol, and even he was only allowed to say it during the service of Yom Kippur. Right? So this is what the name Hashem. And we just call it the name because we can't actually say it. So this is the name of his essential self, and this is the aspect of the essential light of the unlimited one, the Eir Ein Sof, Baruch Hu, blessed be, which is called Soiviv Kol Almin, that he surrounds all the worlds. Now, of course, surrounding the world and filling the world doesn't mean in space, because in space, Hashem's light that surrounds the world is here also. It's not void from the world. He didn't remove it from here because it's not removed from anywhere. There's no place that is void from him, that is empty from him. But rather, it means that it's not revealed to us here, right? So this is meaning that it's also soiver, means it surrounds, meaning it doesn't enclose itself in the physical vessels. Whereas the Mali, the filling light, it makes itself smaller and smaller to fit in the different vessels, so it shouldn't explode them. So this is called soiver kol almin, the light that surrounds the world. And this is how Hashem, blessed be He, transcends and is beyond all the worlds. And it is regarding this that it says in Voice Chanon, right? And this is the commandment, right? Ki ha-mitzvah hazois asher nech nitzavos mayim, because this commandment that I am commanding you today, right? And it's no, this is a different one. This is the one you place in This is the Tanya. It says that it's not far from you, and it's not. But why also there? Same thing. It says ki ha-mitzvah hazois, right? This mitzvah, this one commandment. And the same also when it says about the mitzvah for Shema, right? Why does it say ki ha-mitzvah hazois? Because this commandment, when it says about the mitzvahs, because it's talking about the mitzvah of Shema, which indicates that the recital of Shema is equal to all the other mitzvahs. Because it is the very first commandment that they were commanded by Moshe himself, immediately after the 10 Commandments, when they got them at Sinai, right? That they heard directly from Hashem himself. Blessed be He and blessed be His name. Also, also it states, I have created for them for my glory, right? You know this, about which the Zohar states, in order to make myself known to them. This is why He created us. What does it mean that He created us for His glory? He created us so that He should make Himself known to us. He wanted to make Himself known to us. This refers to the knowledge of the true reality of His essential self. Blessed be He. Even though, wait a second, I thought no one can grasp Him. But this is the thing that Hashem gives us, that He gives the Jewish people as a gift, is that even though no one can grasp Him, He put us here to make Himself known to us. And that's not even now yet, is not in its full thing, even though we can through Chassidus, we can actually grasp the ungraspable. But this in its full nature, when is this going to come? In the coming future, when the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, as the waters cover the ocean floors, and then He will be revealed openly and literally, meaning that the Eir Ein Sof Baruch Hu, His essence will be revealed on here. Umala ha'aretz deya es Hashem kamayim layom mechasim. Right? That the world will fill with the knowledge of not the Elikim, with the knowledge of Hashem, like the oceans, like the water covers the oceans. Anigin Leib.
Amy, sorry.
God Like Bitzalel says, groovy. Anyways, so now, like we said before, that in the times when Mashiach comes, the knowledge of Hashem will be in the entire earth and everywhere revealed. Currently, however, this is in a way of faith, or in a way of emunah, which transcends knowledge, right? Meaning we now, even in this exile, we have this faith and we know about Hashem as one. Now, at the same time, it's not revealed to our physical eyeballs, but we know it and we believe it and we internalize it. When Mashiach comes, the difference is it will be obvious. That's why there won't be any evil in the world. When this is obvious, how could there be any evil? Whereas now there's evil because only those who believe, only those who know this and believe this, follow this in this exile. So this faith is now faith, which also transcends logic and knowledge. You see, that's why we don't fall to, when people say, oh, but wait, science and logic. No, we have a faith that's higher than all these logics. We know the truth. We know that this is the truth. So nonetheless, even though it's in a way of faith rather than in a way of obvious sight, however, from the faith it is drawn into the comprehension and the intellect, into the emotions, the mind and the heart. This is explicitly stated in the continuation of the Shema. What does it say next after Shema Yisrael Hashem Kishem Echad? Here Israel Hashem is Elikim, Hashem is one. Then Baruch Shem Kven Husel and Vod, right? Blessed, etc., etc. And then it says Ve'ohavto es Hashem Elokecha, and you shall love Hashem your God. Which, by the way, interesting, in Torah, the Alter Rebbe explains that it doesn't just mean and you shall love Hashem your God, but Ve'ohavto can mean something different also. It can also mean and you will love Hashem your God. And it's both is true. It's because of this thing you shall, it's a commandment to do this, but it's also you will automatically, when you understand this thing, automatically you love Hashem. Meaning, this shows us, and you will love Hashem, and you shall love Hashem, shows us that a person is capable of grasping the name of Hashem. Even now, even before Mashiach comes, even in his heart of flesh. And the proof is, it's a commandment. V'ahavta es Hashem l'kecha is a commandment to love Hashem. And like we know, right, like the Alter Rebbe asks, how can you command something that a person doesn't control? So we see that we do control that because through our faith, a person is capable of doing this, of grasping the name of Hashem, and to the point where he feels a love for Hashem in his physical heart. How does one do this? He accomplishes it through his koyach ma of his soul. Right? Koyach ma. This is the power of what? What this means, practically speaking, that's a whole, not just one mimer, it's a whole lot of other mimer by itself. But it means that the nullification of self-awareness and instead being self-nullified to the intangible godliness of Hashem, that occurs when one grasps Hashem and he grasps Hashem's transcendence, meaning he's not just grasping Elohim. Like we know that Paroi, the king of Mitzrayim, he too understood Elohim. He understood the idea of a greater power in the world. He couldn't understand this idea of a Hashem who is higher than everything that happens in the world. So, but through this, we can realize, and the slave of Kalam, and how Hashem, blessed be He, is completely transcendent, exalted, and beyond all the worlds. Now, regarding this voice, this pasuk, and this is the mitzvah, which is referring to Shema, it should be pointed out that this commandment requires the acquisition of the knowledge of Hashem. Because if you're going to hear that Hashem is your God, Hashem is one, meaning you're gonna understand this in your mind, then you have to acquire the knowledge of Hashem. For like the voice states, Shema Yisrael, hear Israel. And like it's known that listen doesn't just mean with your ear, it means with the ear of your brain, which means to understand. Like, if somebody tells you something and you understand what he's saying, you'll say, oh, I hear you. I hear you. You don't mean, of course you hear me. You have ears connected to the side of you. Have big ugly ears connected to the side of your head. Even you don't hear me. Well, you can be a little cute ears too. It doesn't make a difference. If you have ears, you're going to hear me. What does it mean? I hear you. It means I get it. I get what you're saying. I hear you. With like Hillel Paracher says, right in the first chapter of his explanation on Shara Yichud, that the hearing means with the inner ear. Right, that there's a spiritual power in the inner ear that can differentiate between good and bad and right and wrong. That meaning he can understand things, the logical things. So although it is impossible to grasp the transcendence of Hashem, the Sefer Kol, right, the light that surrounds the worlds, except through faith in Hashem, because faith transcends knowledge, right? It transcends logic. Meaning, I believe Hashem is one. I don't care what logic you use. I don't care if you argue with me and you're a very good person in debating, and so therefore you bring all these arguments that I can't answer, you still won't knock me off from my faith. I still believe that this is the truth. Even if you have best arguments, and even if I can't answer these arguments. So this is through faith in Hashem, right, which transcends logic. Nonetheless, even though this is the only way you can grasp is with faith, the primary avodah, the primary service in the mitzvah, in doing the commandment of Shema, is that the power of our faith, which is beyond knowledge, should become revealed within knowledge. That which is above our logic should come down into our logic. This is, for example, why we learn Chassidus. Chassidus, essentially what we're doing, we're taking something that is ingraspable, because Hashem is ingraspable, and yet we're grasping Him in our mind, that which is impossible to grasp. This is the meaning of the righteous lives by his faith. Meaning, what does it mean he lives by his faith? That he brings his faith, which transcends knowledge, into the general vitality of his soul, to delight in Hashem, in a way of comprehension and knowledge. That he studies the Torah, and that the Torah is the thoughts of Hashem and the words of Hashem and the knowledge of Hashem. And through this, he brings that which is Hashem, which is higher than any knowledge, than any human knowledge, and he brings it into his human knowledge, even though it's technically impossible, but through learning Torah, he does it. However, because the commandment of Shema is the Soiver Kol Almin, how Hashem transcends the worlds, so therefore we can't yet receive it directly except through the medium of our teacher Moshe. Moshe, that's why Hashem gave gave the 10 commandments, right? And then the first commandment that Moshe gives after this is Shema Yisrael. Why? Because this is something that they have to receive through Moshe Rabbeinu, through the leader. Wait, but nigga! Hey, ay, 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 did I yam? Ay, 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 did I yam? Ay, 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 did I yam? Ay, 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 did I yam? Ay, 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 did I yam? Ay, 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 did I yam? Did I yam? Hey, da, did bam, bam. Ay, 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 yam, bam, bam. Hey, oh, did bam. Hey, ay, oh. Hey, da, did bam, 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 bam. Hey, oh, did bam. Ay, ay, ay. No, I love that Nick and Lee. Now, with respect, although it is true that the other commandments were also said by Moshe, right? Not just the commandment of Shema. Like it says all throughout the Torah, by Daber Hashem el Moshe, and Hashem spoke to Moshe, Daber el Bnei Yisrael, right? Teach the children of Israel, and you should say to them this commandment. Nevertheless, this commandment is unique in that Moshe said it to the Jewish people himself. It doesn't say before that. Remember, it's in the Sefer Devarim, which is Moshe's giving over Moshe's final voice to the Jewish people, right? Well, it's him telling over it actually, because he was this. In fact, that's why it's in Parashat Vayeschanan, because in Vayeschanan is also he recounts the 10 Commandments, and then right after that he recounts about the Shema, the saying of the Shema. But it doesn't say before that, Daber el Bnei Yisrael, tell to the people. And this is because Moshe is the aspect of the intermediary. He draws down the light of the simple oneness of Hashem that transcends knowledge into the knowledge. He brings this thing that's above logic, that we can put it into our logic. Into every Jewish person, each person according to his ability. And it is for this reason that the mitzvah of reciting Shema is higher than all of the other commandments, because it's specifically about Shema that it says, "But as for you, stand here with me, and I will speak to you the entire commandment and the decrees and the ordinances." And then it continues, this is the commandment. Meaning that this primary commandment includes all the other commandments. The commandment of Shema Yisrael, to know the unity of Hashem, includes all the other commandments. And with respect to the teachings of our sages of blessed memory, Habakkuk came and it says that Habakkuk came and established all of the commandments upon one, referring to faith, emunah. And this is also true, because we say, wait a second, I thought they all established on faith, which is the mitzvah of emunah. So how could they be established on the mitzvah of understanding the unity of Hashem? And indeed, in the Rambam, what does the Rambam say? The Rambam first in Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, the foundation of the Torah, right? In what is it? I think it's what's it, Parak Aleph Halacha Zayin or something. Anyways, in the first chapter in the Rambam, he says that the first thing, the pillar of all foundations, is to know that there is a God, which this is really faith, knowing there's a God. And then he says, and to know that this God is one. However, faith cannot be counted as one of the 613 mitzvahs. Why? Because it is essential and natural to us. Right? It says that the Jewish people are ma'aminim, b'nei ma'aminim. They are believers, the children of believers. It's in our blood. It is in our blood to believe in Hashem. So how can He command us something that's natural? It's like, okay, Leib, I'm giving you a commandment to breathe. Okay, I'm doing it. But because it's natural to us, and it's an inheritance from our fathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, to believe in Hashem. So therefore, even though there was such an important thing, but it's not counted among the 613. Right? So therefore, this statement is true, but only in the sense that emunah is the foundation that all the commandments are founded upon and sustained by. However, immediately following faith comes the commandment to recite Shema and to contemplate the godly unity of Hashem, right, of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, His upper unity, right, Yichud Ilah, how He transcends the worlds, and His lower unity, the light that fills the worlds, right, the Yichud Torah, how He fills all the worlds, which are the aspects of how our faith will be revealed in the times of Mashiach, about which it states, the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Hashem, as the waters cover the ocean floor, meaning that we will be aware in a tangible way, that Hashem won't be intangible, He will be tangible, that the life of this world is from the name Hashem, that is how Hashem, blessed be He, transcends and is beyond all of the worlds. Hey yo na 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 mo yedi mama. Hey yo na 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 mo yedi mama. Oh elaram yo yedi mama. Oh, na 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 na. Oh, yeah, mama. Hey, yo, na 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 na. Oh, yeah, mama. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, mama. Oh, I like it. Lev, I like it. Now this is also the meaning of the pasuk, and you shall know this day and set it upon your heart that Hashem, He is Elohim, meaning that the name Hashem, which transcends and is beyond all the worlds, should be known to us just like the name God, the name Elohim is known to us, which comes in a way of full recognition and awareness. This was the intention of all of my father's voids, say the Mittler Rebbe, about his father, the Alter Rebbe. And his Torah writings, particularly in the discourse mentioned before, that expounds upon the voice, and you shall know this day and set it upon your heart, that Hashem, He is Elohim, He is God. In the heavens above and on the earth below, there is none but Him. Do not make a mistake in this matter. Do not. I can't say good. It's ir. I think it's a word made by Americans. It's do not err. What's err? Err is like Yiddish, like what's that? What's that, Mishugneh? What's that? Anyways, do not make a mistake to think that faith in the transcendence of Hashem.
If you err, you're going to have to own up to it. Get it? Or you're
Which why was Rabbi Vichman rolling his eyes at you again, late, trying to remember? Do not make a mistake in this, to think that faith in the transcendence of Hashem only remains above knowledge, or to think that this is what is meant by the voice, by the pasuk, and they had faith in Hashem. For if this was the case, it would mean that the mitzvah to unify oneself to Hashem during Shema is only in a way of faith, which is the opposite of the truth. How do we know? Because it's a commandment. It's an actual commandment. Rather, the intention is, as stated above, Hear Israel, that we need to understand with our physical minds, because we can take, even though God is non-graspable, we can have knowledge of Him, and knowledge even of Him as He transcends the worlds. It does, you're going to be proud of me later, it does behooves. You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Behooves. It does behooves every individual to place upon his heart, to set aside times in which he turns away from his preoccupations to contemplate this thing. Do not minimize this matter in your soul, or say to yourself that because of the great lowliness of spiritual stature that you recognize in yourself, or because you are very preoccupied with all your business dealings, who am I to pursue the attainment of exalted levels? What am I? After all, I'm a simple person. What am I? A big rav, a big rabbi? I'm just a simple puppet. What do I know? Who am I to pursue the attainment of exalted levels of deep contemplation in the vessels of my mind and heart? Why should I pursue these awesome matters that are beyond me? My dear brothers and sisters, that's I put in myself, he doesn't say that at this point. Know with certainty that by harboring this attitude you are liable, this part he actually says, by harboring this attitude you are liable for the death penalty. Here he says, you are by someone who has this attitude of who am I to pursue the attainment of deep contemplation in God? I am too lowly for that. But this attitude, one is liable for the death penalty, literally, and also because casting off the yoke of heaven in regard to this commandment is like transgressing the positive commandments of donning tefillin and tzitzis. Right? Like it says that a skull that is not, right? Kafta de limona, a skull that is not put on tefillin is called a rebellious Jew who sins against his body. Whereas such a person, right? Such a person like he's talking about, who says, who am I to contemplate the greatness of Hashem? He is called a rebellious Jew who sins against his soul. Against his soul, Gewalt. Realize that the entire life force of your godly soul, in the light of the Torah and the mitzvahs and the service of the heart, is utterly and completely dependent on your fulfillment of the commandment. You shall know this day that Hashem is your God, and hear Israel, Hashem is your God, Hashem is one. This is true for every Jew, regardless. You hear, it's very important that we say this. I want everyone to hear me over there. This is true for every Jew, regardless of his stature. That is, even if he only knows how to read, he must nevertheless toil with all of his abilities to grasp the godly unity of Saivav and Menmaleh, the light that surrounds and the light that fills, meaning these two names, Havaya, Hashem, and Elohim, God. This is the whole purpose of man, all the days of his life, so that the light of the oneness of Hashem should literally be embedded in his mind and his heart. Whoever asks the yoke of heaven regarding this commandment to understand the unity of Hashem, and deludes himself with the false imaginations and despicable delusions, such as the aforementioned false humility, like, who am I to delve into the knowledge of Hashem? This is a false humility, says the Mittler Rebbe. He should realize that this is only the counsel of his evil inclination. For his evil inclination wants to push him away and distance him from the light of the face of Hashem, so that he should never perceive the light of Hashem in his mind and his heart. That's what the evil inclination doesn't want you to perceive this. In reality, this is the cause of all harsh judgments that befall on a person, each according to his way, as the prophet stated, Yeshaya, for it is not a nation of understanding, and therefore its maker will not show it mercy, and its creator will not be gracious to it. How much longer does this go? I don't know if I should continue on the next time. Yeah, it goes for a while. Anyways, this is the point he's making so far. Maybe we continue with this next time. It's hours late. We continue on this idea that it is incumbent. Is this a good word? Does that make sense? It is incumbent on every one of us to take this to our heart and take to heart, to put it in our heart, that Hashem, He is the true God. Hashem, He is Elohim in the heavens above and on the earth below. So anyways, before we sign off, I actually usually what we do is Bezalel speaks and I give an appeal. But this time, Bezalel is here. Maybe Bezalel, you can sit and you can give the appeal before we sign off.
I like Chaim Gimelel.
L'chaim v'lebracha.
I called you, but I figured you must have started the show.
Yeah, we was about to sign off, and then you walked in.
To sign off, you mean you did the show?
It's been going on for an hour and 5 minutes now.
Oh, so you
No, give
already
the
said the Torah.
but so now you give the appeal. Just some words from your heart, encouraging the people to do Torah and mitzvahs.
I could do a story.
Oh, good. We didn't have a story. Do the story. Perfect.
Did you do, so what would you learn with everybody?
We learned the introduction to Imre Bina. Not too shabby, no?
Very nice. Hey, hi everybody. So I have a story. The last time we were talking about modernity, which is what we say when we get up in the morning. We thank Hashem for giving back our neshama. Wait, what happened to Leah? I do. I need it.
There we go.
How do I get him in? Okay.
He has to move in this way.
So in that prayer, Moda'ani, thanks for giving me my soul back, which we say in the morning before washing our hands. There's a story about that prayer. The previous Rebbe told a conversation between his father, the Rebbe Rashab, when he was 9 years old, and the previous Rebbe's uncle, the brother of the Rashab, was 11 years old. And the 11-year-old one asked the 9-year-old one, what is the dot in Moda'ani? The prayer, thanks for giving my soul back, has one punctuation mark. And there's a dot, it's like a period after the word in mercy. And he asked him, what's that dot doing there, that one punctuation mark? And the younger boy, the 9-year-old one, said, that dot after Bechemla, after a mercy, contains the whole idea of the soul that Hashem returns to us with great mercy. And through that point, through that dot, that idea is revealed and spread out through the rest of the prayers. The brother said, so why do we need to pray? Once we have that dot, once we have that essential point of the Jewish soul, why do we have to pray? He answered him, the dot is the compacted essence in the Jewish heart. What's called the Pintele Yid. And through our prayers, we spread out the dot, and it becomes revealed in all the limbs of the body through the rest of the prayers. And the whole function and intention of the dot is that it should be spread out through the rest of the prayers each and every day. And we see this in the fact that the word Bechemla, in mercy, is seen later in the prayers. In the prayer, your love is everlasting, but in that case, there's no dot, because at that point, the Jewish essence has been spread out to the whole person. Are you okay with that,
Yes.
Wade?
That's why it's still just a dot.
So when it gets spread out, that's the actualization of the essence of the Jew. And God's mercy is revealed rather than hidden in just a dot. Some years later, the Rebbe Rashab explained that the dot in Modeh Ani, and thanks for my soul, symbolizes the inner point of the Jewish heart. It's the inner point which diffuses the essence of a Jew. From that point, like we said, it needs to spread out to become revealed in all the limbs of the body. And this dynamic must take place every single day in every single Jew. Even one who has not washed his hands, he's impure. We say thanks for the soul before we wash our hands. So the symbol of washing the hands is purifying. So even one who is not pure, and he hasn't done any mitzvahs yet, and he hasn't learned any Torah yet that day, he still says to Hashem, you are the living and existing king. And even one who has stumbled to the point where he has questions, is there really a God? Is he my God? Is he really connected to me? And because of those questions, he's not able to spread the point of his Jewishness to all of the limbs of his body. He's essentially Jewish. But since he has questions, he can't fully get into spreading out the essence of his Jewishness to all the limbs of the body. He has to know that even though there is this blockage, no Jew is rejected from his essential Jewish point. Because Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, the living and eternal King, gives him this Jewish essence, this dot, and that dot is an actual piece of Hashem. Every Jew is given a piece of God in the inner point of his heart. And that's the work to spread out that point. And it says in that same prayer, you have returned my soul to me. It's not dependent on the person's choice. Hashem gives it. We're not making a choice that we want it. It has nothing to do with what we want. Hashem himself gives this point even against our will. It's the inner essence of Jewish existence. A Jew has to know that he is a subject of the living and eternal King, who is the King of this physical universe. and who in his great mercy implanted the inner essential point of Jewishness in each Jew. And that king commands him, it's now time to stand and pray, and to know in front of whom you are standing. The world's not an empty void. There's a master of this city. There's a living and eternal king. And the function of prayers is to bring and reveal that essence point into our whole existence, from where it can be further drawn to our portion in the world for which we're responsible, until the world around us is illuminated by that point of godliness. And Marvin, the fact that you come and join us is the proof that there's a living and eternal king.
I have a question.
Yeah.
By the way, Lee, sorry I didn't call you the next morning. You see, my cousin's dog's wife's antlers got hurt, and yeah, you know how it is.
The dog ate my homework.
Yeah, that's what it was. Bitsalio,
Yeah.
how does a guy like me, who's done all kinds of bad stuff, how do I reveal my Pinto Yid,
The first thing is, Marvin, you never did anything bad.
I did it?
No, that's what you have to understand. You never did anything bad. You were doing what Hashem wanted you to do.
Oh.
True, you're carrying the sins of all the generations. Well, there's certain ones who didn't need you to do bad. But the ones that
That's
you
when
affected,
they let me go on vacation. Bitsalio.
but the ones that you affected, true, you are meritorious in making them go off the path. But you didn't do wrong. It's the king that made you do that.
Ah.
Marvin. And if you think about it, and this is what I told you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about all the load you're carrying on your shoulders. And don't worry about that you're working for the king. Give everything up. Give yourself up. Change things over. And from being a foolish fool, a foolish king, become a holy fool. Give up everything in order to serve Hashem, and finally he'll be happy with you. And if he gives you a problem, say, well, Bezalel told me I should do it.
See you later. That's what I'm going to tell the IRS. The king told me to do it. Where are we holding at, Lane?
I don't know.
Okay, so here's something we're gonna have to do, because you don't have to have faith or some of mercy in this.
Have mercy.
Oh,
Go ahead.